Hi everyone, it's Janome Educator Danielle Amato here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a quick last-minute gift with your Artistic Edge 12 digital cutter. This machine is so awesome. You can cut all kinds of materials. Today I'm cutting vinyl to create a double-sided gift card holder. So you can put your gift card in one side to give someone and maybe a special note on the other side, or maybe even 2 gift cards for somebody really special. So I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know about how to set up and use your Artistic Edge cutter, how to use Artistic Digitizer to create the design for your Artistic Edge, and how to sew the gift card holder together and have it ready for gift giving. So I have my Artistic Digitizer software open. I have it open to a new design, and my last settings were for the CM17. So before I can start designing for my vinyl card holder, I need to change the machine from the CM17 to the Artistic Edge cutter. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the machine, click change, and then under companies, you're going to scroll to the bottom and click cutters. Then here you'll see, because I use it, it already gave me the Edge 12, but if you hit this drop down, there's the Edge 12 and the Edge 15. I'm using the 12 today, and I'm using the 12 by 12 mat, so I'm going to select that. So now you'll see the hoop change to be the mat for the Artistic Edge. There's one more setting we have to change before we can get started. So you want to go up to Techniques, and you'll see that only embroidery is selected right now. So we want to make sure we select Cut and click OK. Now all of the settings are set so that when we do any designing in Artistic Digitizer, when the properties pop up on the side, it's going to give us all the functionality that we need to be able to use our cutter. So I'm using this card holder that I already have as my inspiration and my template for the gift card holder. So we'll be able to put a gift card in one side and put some sort of to and from note on the other side. So I already measured this out, and I know that the open face size is 4 by 5. So I'm going to draw my 4 by 5 box, and then I'm going to add the sections on the side to so that they can fold over and become the pockets for the cards. So first things first, I'm going to go to my shape tool, rectangle, and I'm just going to draw a what looks like the right size. So it's actually pretty close. So my width is 4.5 and my height is 5.2. So I want to change it so that it's 4 inches wide and the height will be 5 inches. Oops, 5 inches. So that's going to give me this whole shape here. So now I need to add the flaps on either end here so that when it's cut out, we can fold it over and sew it down. So I'm going to go back to my shape tool, rectangle, and over here I'm just going to draw a rectangle, changing the sizing. We want the width to be 4 and the height to be 2. And then we're going to need 2 of these, right? Because we have 2 pockets. So there's going to be one here. Then I'm going to copy and paste it and drag another one down here. So now I want to align these shapes and overlap their edges because I'll be able to weld this whole final shape together. So I'm highlighting everything, align, center. So now I know all the edges are lined up. Then I'm going to zoom in a little closer and I'm going to see how these are overlapped. I'm going to overlap it just a little bit more just to make sure that it's covered like that. Okay, maybe I'll just check the alignment one more time to be safe. And we're in a good spot. Okay, so now we want this to be one whole shape that's being cut, right? We don't want it to be 3 different shapes that get cut. So what we're gonna do is highlight the whole object, all of the objects, go to Shaping, Weld. And now you'll see it becomes one big rectangle. Now that we have the whole solid rectangle shape, we're almost there. There's one more design detail I want to add to this. So with the card holder that I have, the pockets are straight, but what I really want to do is put some sort of curve here that kind of lets you pull the cards out a little bit easier and has like more room for your thumb and your fingers to grab. So what I'm going to do is go back to the shape tool, to ellipse, and I'm going to draw a shape at the top. I'm going to center it with this top edge, just like that, and then I want to copy and paste this shape and bring it down to the other end. Go, get that centered. Okay, so then now all we have to do is select all three objects, and instead of welding this time, we're going to go to shaping and trim. Now if I delete these shapes I added, you can see now that we have that half moon shape that I'm looking for. Now there's one more thing we have to do with this design before it's ready to go to the digital cutter. You'll notice that this is still set up for embroidery. So what we're going to do is select the object, remove the background, remove the fill, we don't need the fill, and then over on the side in the properties, we're going to change the outline to cut. Now the settings are ready to go to the cutter. Another thing you can do is go to these cutter presets, and it gives you lots of options to use with the edge cutter based on the type of material you have. I'm just going to use fabric backed with fusible webbing. It is vinyl, not fusible webbing, but the vinyl is rather thin, and I find that these settings work really well for this, so I'm okay with that. Then I'm just going to drag my object a little bit more away from the top of the mat, because when we go to cut this out, we want to make sure that our material is larger than the object that we're cutting. So if I'm going to be lining up my material on the mat, I want to make sure that I have like an overhang of material. So I have an inch here, I have 2 inches here, like that feels safe. From an inch down here, that feels like a good area to place my material and have my object cut. Now with the USB cable plugged in for my artistic edge, and my artistic edge machine is turned on, go up to File, Export, to Cutters, Artistic Edge USB is selected, and click Connect. So now this dialog box is going to show us everything we need to take a look at before we press cut to cut out our shape. So we only have one template in our design, so there's one template here. But if this had multiple different cuts or multiple different shapes we wanted to cut out of something, they would all be listed here, and you could go one by one down the line. But this one, we only have one shape. You'll see at the bottom, it's giving you instructions. Please insert yellow blade with a depth of 4 on your cutter. The blade, the depth, the speed, the pressure, and passes. And these are your control arrows that are going to move your mat once it's on the machine. It's going to move the mat into place, and you're going to align one of these crosshairs with the laser on the machine. This is the best way to plot where your, the edge of your fabric is, or whatever material you're using, to make sure that all of the cuts will land inside the material. So now I'm going to get my mat ready with my vinyl and get it loaded into the machine. So first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my piece of material that I'm cutting out is bigger than the finished size of what I'm cutting. This way, if however you're lining up the material, you know that you have that extra room, and you know that there's that extra clearance, and you won't be missing any of the edges of your shape. So I'm just going to line this up inside the measured area, and I'm going to press it down really hard, making sure it's nice and sticky to the mat. Okay. Another thing I like to do just to be extra secure and know that this is going to stay on is I'm just going to use a little painter's tape around the edges of the vinyl just to really make sure that it doesn't move. I'm just covering it enough to catch the edge of the vinyl and to catch the mat. Nothing's worse than when you go to cut with the machine and you don't have your material down, stuck down hard enough, and then the whole thing moves and then you have to start over. So this is a great way to make sure we don't have to redo this. Okay, so I have all 4 edges taped down. I have it pressed down as best as I can with my hands. And now we're going to load it into the machine. First thing we need to do is raise up the roller so that we can slide the mat into place. So we're going to press down on these levers on the side and insert the mat. And then once you have it lined up nicely, you can lower the roller by raising up those levers. Make sure my tape is down. And now, it's hard to see, but there's a laser over here. I'll get closer to it. And that laser marker is what you're going to be aligning that crosshair on the screen to make sure that it's over your material. Okay, so there's the laser over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit those jog keys on my screen on my laptop. And then you can see how the mat moves, and then now the laser light is now on the material. So I'm using the top left crosshair mark on the in the dialog box on the screen. I'll show you. Right, so I'm using this top left crosshair mark, so I want to make sure that the laser is lined up with the top left area of my material so that the cuts will happen inside that area. All right, so looking here at my mat. All right, so looking at my mat one more time, I'm just gonna adjust the mat just a little bit more where I feel like it's good. Let's see. All right, I think that's good. So now, this might be hard to see on the camera, but our laser is right there. We're inside the material and we're ready to cut. So now I'm going to press cut in the dialog box on my laptop and we're going to see how this turns out. And that's it. We have our piece cut out. So I could pull it right off the mat. So here's our template. And then now all we need to do is sew down our edges. And we'll have our gift card holder. So I'll take you through the next steps right now. All right, so here's our piece of vinyl. So we need to fold in the edges to fit our gift cards. So I know the fold over is 2 inches, so I'm going to use my ruler and measure my 2 inches. Okay, and I'm going to use some clips to hold that in place. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Okay, and the last side here. That looks pretty good. Get some clips on here. All right, so then all we have to do is top stitch down the side here, 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 and here. And then we'll have our pockets open for our cards and we can fold it in half. So it's nice and cute, Little Mermaid-esque holiday, birthday, whatever you want to do, gift card holder. All right, so now I'm at my CM17 and I'm just gonna sew down the sides of this little card holder. So I'm just doing it about 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Back tacking at the beginning. And I'm only gonna go to the edge of the pocket. I'm not gonna go all the way to the other side. Okay. That's one side. Do the next one. Okay, that's the other side. We're almost there. And the last one. All right, cut my threads, and there we have it. I'm gonna give it a good press. I'll cut my threads here, but then you have 2 pockets. You have one for your gift card and another one to leave a little note or maybe 2 gift cards.